We are now entering what is known as the holiday market in real estate. So Sean, what is going on? First, give us like a brief overview, and then we'll get more into the nitty gritty of the numbers. And if you want to know where we're getting this is a report that gets published every 2 weeks. Please email us if you'd like a copy of this report and you are not a real estate agent, because we're not allowed to give it to real estate agents. But anyone else, we can email this to you. So this is a local Orange County economist. So first, what's the lay of the land?
So the lay of the land is obviously we're now into like fall, right? We're kind of approaching the holiday season. So we're kind of people are kind of thinking about different things, are hunkering down, just kind of getting past the year. So we're just kind of getting into, as we get into the, towards the end of the year here, the market, like seasonally, always it's a slower season. That's just the reality of it. Not that things don't happen, it's just that it's at a lower rate. Really, the hot season is typically the spring, is really like the hottest time of year, but this starts to where people are kind of thinking about other things. So that's the seasonality of it. And then on top of that, okay, so where we're looking at is the lay of the land is also the interest rates have kind of crept up. So basically from mid-December, interest rates were around 6.1%. Things were looking all nice and rosy, like, the data was looking really encouraging. So the economy is, I guess it's weird because it's to say it, but the economy is stronger than what they were hoping for. So therefore, the interest rates are kind of like have been creeping up. So as of November 6th, we're about 7.13%, give or take. So that's obviously a bit of a headwind, given that when you're having higher interest rates, that does affect affordability of a house, right? So that just has a natural effect to it. So there's ways to work around this though, right? So reach out to me if you have any questions about home loans. Not that I'm a lender, but I can kind of point you to the right people to kind of give you a sense of, okay, well, how do we approach this higher interest rate environment to really make that home purchase a reality for you?
And then just a quick note on interest rates. By the time this gets published, which is probably like a week from when we're speaking, who knows what's going to be happening with interest rates. So maybe what Sean said is not true a week from now. We don't know.
The market has been volatile. So so that's why I say as of November 6th. Who knows what happens from there. So, and again, November 6th, we're taping this after that. It's just that was the last data point that we have here. So before we continue, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Sean Dezad.
And I'm Courtney Dezad.
And we're licensed realtors here in the state of California. And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the blue skies, the Pacific Ocean, the perfect weather. I can't wait to move in here now. The problem is I'm not local. I may be out of state. I may be even out of the country. So I don't know what to do. And I totally get that. That's when to reach out to us so we can have that conversation, really finding out specifically what you're looking for, and we can be your boots on the ground. We can give you tours of the properties as well as the neighborhoods, really giving you a good sense of what's out there. So when you do come out here, your time is spent super efficiently. So what you want to do is give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.
And finally, as far as the median home price goes, just so you have a sense of it, so for all home types, basically, the median home price in Orange County is $1.165 million. That's just kind of where we're at, and specifically for single-family residences, these would be houses. It's at $1.372 million. So, again, depending on where you are in the country, that might seem like, oh, that's a pretty good deal, or oh my gosh, that is incredibly expensive. So that's just kind of, again, lay of the land, that's kind of where we stand as far as the basics here.
So now let's dive into the details. So overall, what's going on? What are the numbers telling you? Yeah,
so basically, what we're going to do is, just so you know, we're kind of, given that this local economist, how Stephen Thomas notes the stuff is basically supply is active homes on the market, and then demand is properties that are actually in escrow. So that's how we're defining supply and demand here, just so you know. So basically, and having said that, what we're seeing right now is that basically, obviously, supply is actually dropping. So which is normal because, again, we're getting into the seasonality, right? People are not really thinking about selling or buying at the same rate as they were earlier, right? So basically, in the last 2 weeks, inventory has dropped. So again, these are homes that are actively for sale, have dropped 3%. So, or about 124 fewer homes for sale. And also, I should actually say too, that we're going to give you a preface of what it's currently, what it was last year, and really a better indication of how traditional the market has been is the 3-year average pre-COVID. So we're going to give you that, just so reference points, just going to give you a good sense of what we're really looking at is an overall picture. So basically going back to what we're saying, so basically inventory currently, so homes on market are currently standing at about 3,500, a little over 3,500 homes, right, that are for sale. Now last year it was actually at 2,496, so a little under 2,500, so that's about 29% lower, right? But then, so obviously, so inventory is actually up, right, which is not shocking because the COVID years were really tight. So we're kind of getting out of that. But to give you a reference point, so pre-COVID, that whole average was 5822 or 66% more. So that was more of a normal market. So we're like well below those pre-COVID years still.
Yeah, in terms of how many homes are available for sale, right?
Exactly.
In terms of supply.
Yes, exactly. And then as far as demand goes, so this is again homes that are actually in escrow. So we're at 1,458 homes that are currently in escrow, which is actually down 235 homes from the last couple of weeks, or 7%. So we're actually seeing a spread where inventory is down 3, but demand is down 7. So we're actually seeing that and what that usually tends to cause is more days on market, which again, we'll get to in a moment. So basically, when we're relating this stuff, last year, demand was actually at 1,223 or 16% lower, right, last year. And then pre-COVID was 2,139 or 47% more. Again, that's giving you a more normal historical norm as far as that goes. And so that's kind of giving you a sense of where we stand supply and demand side. And so how does that manifest itself? One, it manifests itself with possible, if supply is high compared to demand, then we see more like homes sitting on the market for longer. We may be seeing more homes actually doing price reductions, which we are seeing as well. So you are seeing that what it's listed for may or may not sell for that listed price. Again, we are still seeing bidding wars taking place depending on the property and how the owner prices it. But then we are seeing, again, as a trend, more price reductions taking place. And then basically, so I was seeing, again, and manifesting as far as days on market. So we went from 69 days to, like, in the last couple, so to about 2 weeks ago, to 72 days now. So
days on market, what does that mean?
So yes, that's how many days the property is on the market before it sells. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing that creeping up, right? So it's up 3 days basically from 2 weeks ago. And again, last year at this time was 61 days. So a nice little bump from that. So it was from 61 to 72. And then, but pre-COVID average, it was about 85 days. So
yeah, and then I'm just trying, because I know Sean, like, sometimes he speaks over because it's so like in his head, right? So what does that mean though? So, is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? So
technically speaking, it's still a seller's market. So really anything under 90 days is still considered a seller's market. Anything under 60 days is a hot seller's market. Of course, we've seen, as we were in the midst of the pandemic when the market was like blazing hot, things would be on the market for 5, 10 days. It was insane, right? So that's where we saw these crazy bidding wars taking place. So now we're creeping up, which again, I tend to like more because I want a more stable market, right? I don't want this crazy bidding war, but obviously we don't want any sort of crazy crashes either. I know some people are hoping for it. I'm just saying that we want a healthy market where buyers can find a home, sellers can sell a home, and vice versa. So that's where we're kind of getting to a bit of normalcy from a point of like days on market perspective. So having said that, so we're obviously, kind of technically in a seller's market across the board. However, if you look at 2 million, the homes price 2 million and above, we are definitely more in a buyer's market territory here. So basically for 2 million above, which may sound like a lot, and again, this is just kind of where we are in the country. A $2 million home is a very, I don't want to say run of the mill, but it's like, there's a lot of homes that transact in that 2 million-ish price point, right? It's a little above, a little below. That's pretty normal. But basically 2 million and above, the days on market is 161 days. So that's well within, and then that's in definitely the buyer's territory, which again, I do see because my clients are actually looking in those price points. They are seeing some flexibility with the prices. They are seeing homes sitting on the market for longer. So there are opportunities. Again, I'm not saying fire sale or anything like that, but there are, like before, it used to be like, okay, what that property was listed at, it was going to go figure 10% or whatever above. It was crazy. So now it's kind of more like, okay, they can actually, there's a little bit of haggling, a little bargaining taking place in the $2+ million price point. So we can get into much more granular data. We're talking about, under 750,000, which really is most likely going to be some sort of condominium or maybe townhouse. And then, so all the various price points, but you do definitely see that more or less the higher the price point, the higher the days on market. Like, if you're going $6 million plus, I think it was like 322 days on market. I mean, it's just, which you would imagine for that kind of price range. So like, so it's like, so you're talking about like, so almost a year to sell it. And again, that's not unusual because the pool of people that are buying $6 million plus, it's a shrunken pool, but for sure. So as you see, like but they still make up a surprisingly, all that luxury stuff is still a surprisingly decent amount of the population as far as like the percentage of sales. But so we're seeing that, that variation obviously, of course, is price sensitive for sure.
So Sean, you're saying, we're obviously seeing that the market is softening, right? So does that mean that it's going to crash? Is it going to be 2008 all over again?
Over again, yes. No, it's funny because, we are seeing, of course, like if you look at the data, it's like, okay, we're seeing longer days on market. We're seeing a higher propensity of price reductions. That's all true. However, for market crash, I'm not seeing anything in the data suggesting that. In fact, so a really renowned real estate investor, his name is Bruce Norris, he was noting that basically what he found as far as more of a better correlation is the percentage of distressed sales hitting the market that actually make up the market. So to kind of give you a reference point, in 2008, I think it was about 60 to 70% of the market was distressed sales. So distressed sales are properties that are in the short sale or foreclosure or bank owned. So basically they have to get those things off the books. Prices, they have to like get, fire sale, right? So when that makes up that much of the market, that's where you see these huge drops in price. So we're not seeing that. So I'm gonna scare you here. Distressed sales as a part of percentage of sales that actually have taken place, it's up 50% year over year. Yes, it went from 6 homes to 9 homes. So
in all of Orange County.
In all of Orange County. So out of all the sales, it made up 0.1% of the market. So as Stephen Thomas said, 99.9% of the homes were your normal run-of-the-mill sales. So it makes up, it's basically a rounding error to zero that they make up anything. So with that being still the case, and still people sitting on a ton of equity, a lot of people sitting on really low interest rates, there is no huge urgency to sell the property at any price, at any price that comes in. They just won't sell. They'll just rent it out or they'll hunker down. So that's what we'll see. So long story short, we are seeing softness. Some of this is seasonality, some of this is economy, some of this is interest rates. That is true. It's still one of those things where when you find that right home, homes are kind of funny that way. Like, I don't want to necessarily like push you to buy if you're not ready. I mean, definitely want to push you to buy if you're not ready. But if you're in that right home, it's not like a car where, there's like 100 or 1,000 other cars of that same model. With a house, with the features, with the price point, with the views, whatever that might be, when you find it, if it makes sense, go for it. And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.